that is increasingly found in books on biblical eschatology, leaving more than a few prophecy teachers with egg on their faces. The atomization of biblical prophecy leads to detailed charts of end-time events that leave little room for the symbolism and vivid imagery that is the hallmark of apocalyptic literature. Regrettably, this flawed approach can lead to sensationalism and date-setting as teachers and writers seek to correlate their intricate prophecy timetables with contemporary events. The reader is invited to skip ahead and review the afterword, the atomization of biblical prophecy, which highlights recent claims that biblical prophecies will take place on specific dates, claims that invariably have proven false. I can still recall, as a young Bible school student, compiling a comprehensive blueprint of end-time events, which included a convoluted timeline complete with supporting scripture texts. It was truly a thing of beauty. It was also an uncritical presentation by a budding and arguably naive theologian of the views held by the particular denomination in which I had been raised. The years and decades since have, I like to think, brought a greater appreciation for the grandeur and mystery of the biblical prophecies. The present volume reflects this perspective, which seeks to uncover the historical roots of selected eschatological themes found in Scripture. Together, we will explore the fascinating unfolding of the grand eschatological program throughout the ages. In the footsteps of conquerors. The enigmatic Gog and Magog of Ezekiel have been misidentified by a generation of prophecy teachers, many of whom continue to interpret eschatological texts in the light of outdated Cold War politics. The penchant for viewing the Antichrist as a communist dictator led to the theory that 200 million Chinese will invade the Holy Land. The communist Soviet Union came and went after 70 years, while the true lands of Gog and Magog have for millennia harbored enmity toward Christendom, historically Europe, as well as the land of Israel. A radical new thesis challenges the prevailing ahistorical interpretation of these shadowy foes. Instead of appearing on the world stage suddenly and magically, the ghosts of Gog and Magog have haunted history since the time of Ezekiel, emerging periodically from their remote lair in Asia with great hordes of armed horsemen, all of them brandishing their swords to rain down terror upon distant lands. We trace the footsteps of these invaders of old, as well as those kingdoms and empires that sought, unsuccessfully, to defeat them. Foreshadowing a war of cosmic proportions at the climax of human history, we will see that the lands of Gog and Magog have historically been an indomitable and mysterious region that will one day instigate the battle at the end of the world. Iron Gates of Alexander. Our story begins with the legendary iron gates constructed to hold back the barbaric raiders from Gog and Magog, where we cross paths with perhaps the greatest conqueror the world has ever known. Alexander the Great set out to vanquish Persia, the ancient enemy of Greece, and from there to continue eastward until he had subjugated India. Undefeated on the battlefield, Alexander's advance was nonetheless checked as he sought to conquer barbarians from the north. According to lore that stirred imaginations in Europe for 1,000 years, he constructed immense iron gates to bar their way to the civilized world. A race savage beyond all parallel. The malignant force from beyond Alexander's gates waited, biding its time. It re-emerged through nomadic invaders known as the Huns, led by Attila. These primitive warriors from the Asian steppes swept largely unopposed into Europe. They forced out other peoples, setting into motion a savage chain reaction that culminated in the sack of Rome. After a period of relative calm, the Huns initiated a determined attack on the entire Roman Empire, driven in part thanks to a scheming princess. A medieval blitzkrieg.